You think you've been doing the right thing. You fill your plate with vegetables every day, drink enough water, take short walks, and avoid anything too processed. You've made these choices for years, maybe even decades, because you believed they would protect your health and help you stay independent. But despite all of that, your legs feel heavier lately. You catch yourself forgetting simple things, like where you put your glasses. Your energy isn't what it used to be, and you can't quite explain why. It's frustrating, isn't it? Here's the truth no one really talks about. Some vegetables, yes, even the ones we've been told are healthy, may be slowly chipping away at your strength, balance, and memory, and you wouldn't even know it. This isn't fear-mongering, it's science. Surprising studies published in the Journal of Gerontology and other reputable sources have shown that certain vegetables can cause low-grade inflammation, disrupt blood flow in the legs, and quietly speed up cognitive decline in adults over 60. How? Through natural compounds in these veggies that affect aging bodies differently, especially when it comes to circulation, nerve sensitivity, and muscle strength. The result? A slower step, a missed stare, a scary fall, all from something as innocent as the food on your plate. Let me ask you a question. Have you or someone you love ever had a fall that changed everything? A broken hip, a hospital stay, the sudden need for a walker. It happens fast, and it often starts quietly, not with a big accident, but with tiny shifts in balance, blood flow, and muscle coordination, all of which are affected by what you eat. So, what if I told you that simply changing 3 vegetables in your regular diet could help you stay sharper, steadier, and stronger? I know that sounds bold, but in the next few minutes, I'll share 3 vegetables you must eat after 60 and 4 that you may want to avoid, even if they've been staples in your meals for years. Because here's the reality. Food isn't just about calories or carbs. At this age, every bite you take either builds your body up or quietly breaks it down. You deserve to know the difference. And no, you don't need fancy supplements, complicated diets, or a cupboard full of pills. Just real food, chosen wisely. Before we get into the list, I want to ask you to do something for yourself and for others. If you've ever felt confused about what's truly healthy, you're not alone. If you've ever wondered why you're eating right, but still feel weaker, leave a 1 in the comments. And if nothing here sounds new to you yet, type 0. Your response matters. It tells us where you're at. It helps us create more content that truly supports people like you. Smart, proactive, hopeful adults who want to live long, live well, and live free. And if you want to keep getting clear, science-backed advice, without fear tactics or fluff, please click the subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way, you'll never miss an insight that could change your day or your health. Because sometimes, it's the smallest changes that bring the biggest results. A new veggie on your plate. A different way to cook. One piece of knowledge you didn't have yesterday. These are the things that help you stay active, connected, and confident in your body, no matter your age. So let's dive in. You might be surprised by what you learn next. All vegetables are good for you. It's a message we've heard our entire lives, from parents, teachers, doctors, even commercials. But here's the uncomfortable truth. That belief isn't always true, especially as we age. Your body at 60, 70, or 80 doesn't process foods the same way it did at 30 or 40. And some vegetables, despite their wholesome image, can actually make it harder for you to stay steady on your feet, think clearly, and keep your independence. I know that sounds backward. You've probably gone out of your way to eat more veggies. Maybe you've even swapped out meat or carbs in favor of a big plate of greens. But some of those very choices could be quietly working against you. Let's talk about what happens inside your body. As we age, our circulatory system naturally becomes less efficient. Blood flow to the extremities, especially the legs and feet, may slow. Muscles recover more slowly. Nerve signals weaken. Your joints lose some of their flexibility. And yes, memory may start to fade. These are common, but they're not inevitable. You can absolutely support your body as it changes, but you need to work with it, not against it. And that starts with understanding the foods that create extra strain. Take inflammation, for example. It's a word that gets thrown around often, but here's what it means for someone over 60. Inflammation is like tiny fires inside your body, in your blood vessels, your joints, your nerves. You may not feel it directly at first, but it slowly wears you down. Your legs feel sore, you lose coordination, your balance slips. You feel more tired just walking to the kitchen. Now here's the shocker. Some vegetables actually fuel those fires. You heard right. They contain compounds, like lectins, oxalates, solanine, and others, that are harder to tolerate as you age. They irritate your gut, stress your nervous system, and contribute to inflammation that targets your lower body first. And yet, because they're low in calories, we're told they're healthy. But your body knows the difference. It knows that some vegetables may be rich in vitamins on paper, but in reality, they're robbing you of energy, balance, and strength. It's not just about what a food contains. It's about how your body responds to it. Here's what's truly surprising. A groundbreaking study in the Journal of Gerontology followed tens of thousands of older adults. It found that certain dietary patterns, even those rich in vegetables, were linked to weakened lower limb strength, increased incidence of falls, slower memory recall, reduced arterial flexibility. The researchers weren't looking at junk food. They were studying healthy diets, and they discovered that specific vegetables made a clear difference for better or worse. That means it's not about eating more vegetables. It's about eating the right ones and knowing which to avoid. Let's break a myth right now. I eat healthy, so I should be fine. That's a dangerous assumption. What's labeled healthy by the general public, or even the food industry, isn't always healthy for someone with aging joints, slower circulation, and a more sensitive nervous system. Your age isn't a weakness, but it does require a wiser strategy. Imagine trying to drive an old classic car using modern fuel additives. It might run for a while, but eventually things start breaking down. Not because the car is faulty, but because the fuel wasn't right for its system. Your body is the same. Certain vegetables may have worked well when you were younger, but now they're acting like sand in the engine, causing stiffness, slowing your reaction time, and draining your energy without warning. And sadly, most people never make the connection. They just assume the fatigue is from age. They blame the stiffness on getting older. They chalk up memory slips to just one of those things. But what if it wasn't? What if you could get better circulation, steadier legs, clearer thoughts, just by removing a few problem vegetables and replacing them with ones that your body actually loves? It's possible, and it doesn't take a complete overhaul. You don't have to change everything. You just need to know what to look for and what to quietly leave off your plate. Let's be clear. Not all vegetables are bad. In fact, some are incredible allies for aging well, boosting brain function, strengthening your legs, improving vision, and calming inflammation from the inside out. You'll learn exactly which ones shortly. But first, we need to shed some light on the ones doing harm, the ones that sneak into your meals without warning, disguised as healthy, but silently causing fatigue, weakness, and imbalance. Because once you know what they are, you can make the switch. And once you make the switch, everything starts to feel a little easier. Your steps, your memory, your sense of control over your body. And that, my friend, is worth everything. Alan was 74 when he first noticed something was off. He wasn't in pain exactly, but getting up from the couch took longer than it used to. His legs felt sluggish. He'd occasionally lose his balance for just a second, not enough to fall, but enough to feel it. And once, while walking down the driveway to get the mail, he stumbled on a small crack in the pavement. "I used to jog," he muttered to himself that evening. "Now I'm catching myself on the mailbox." At first, he blamed age. His wife, Mary, told him not to worry. "We're not 40 anymore," she said with a smile. But Alan wasn't the type to just accept decline. He took pride in staying sharp, mentally and physically. He read the news every morning, played chess online, and followed a Mediterranean-style diet, loaded with vegetables, olive oil, and lean proteins. He even gave up red meat and alcohol after his 70th birthday. So why was he slowing down? Why were stairs becoming a chore? Why did his feet feel colder? And why was he forgetting little things more often? His doctor ran the usual tests. Blood pressure, normal. Cholesterol, slightly high but manageable. Nothing alarming. But Alan knew something wasn't right. And then came the fall. It was a Tuesday morning. He was carrying a basket of laundry from the bedroom to the guest room when his foot caught the corner of the rug. A moment's hesitation, a wobble, and then down he went. No bones broken, just a bruised hip and a bruised ego. But the fear stayed. For weeks after, Alan avoided the stairs. He hesitated before getting up from a chair. He moved slower, more carefully, not out of weakness but out of fear. Fear that the next stumble might be worse. That's when Mary said something simple but powerful. "You eat so clean, Alan. Maybe it's not about what you aren't eating. Maybe it's about what you are." That stuck with him. So, they sat down at the kitchen table and started listing everything he ate regularly. Breakfast, oatmeal with bananas. Lunch, usually a vegetable-heavy soup or salad. Dinner, grilled fish or chicken with potatoes, broccoli or eggplant, depending on the night. That's when something clicked. Eggplant, white potatoes, bell peppers, all regulars in his diet. And all, as he would later learn, part of a group of vegetables that may do more harm than good for people over 60. Alan started researching. He read medical journals, watched lectures, even contacted a nutritionist who specialized in senior health. Here's what he learned. White potatoes, despite their comfort, spike blood sugar and contribute to inflammation, especially in legs and feet. Eggplant contains solanine, a natural compound that can irritate joints and nerves. Green bell peppers, with their high lectin content, may disrupt digestion and circulation, especially in aging bodies. Alan was stunned. "These were my healthy foods," he said. "I thought I was doing everything right." The nutritionist explained something that changed his perspective. It's not about eating clean. It's about eating what your body can use effectively, especially now. So Alan made a quiet shift. He swapped white potatoes for sweet potatoes and carrots. He replaced eggplant with steamed spinach or lightly sautéed greens. He ditched green bell peppers in favor of red and orange ones, higher in antioxidants and gentler on the gut. He also learned to steam broccoli instead of boiling it, preserving the sulforaphane that supports circulation and brain health. The changes were small. No dramatic diet, no pills, just smart substitutions. And within weeks, things began to shift. His legs felt lighter. He caught himself humming while climbing the stairs again. The coldness in his feet faded. His memory felt crisper, like a fog lifting. But the biggest shift wasn't physical. It was confidence. Confidence to move without fear, to go on walks with his grandson again, to cook dinner with Mary without worrying about slipping, to live like himself, not like someone bracing for decline. Today, at 76, Alan still eats plenty of vegetables, but he's selective and smart. "I don't eat for my age," he says with a grin. "I eat for my future." His story isn't unusual. It's just under-discussed. Too many people over 60 are trying their best, eating well, staying active, and still wondering why they feel weaker each month. They don't realize that even the healthiest intentions can backfire if the food isn't right for this stage of life. Alan's experience is proof. Sometimes the most powerful changes start not with new habits, but with removing the hidden things that are silently weighing you down. The hidden mistakes that are making you weaker. White potatoes, the comfort food that betrays your legs. White potatoes show up in nearly every comforting meal, mashed with butter, roasted with herbs, baked and stuffed. They're familiar, affordable, and remind us of family dinners. But for those over 60, this beloved staple may quietly be stealing your strength. Here's why. White potatoes break down very quickly into sugar, even faster than table sugar. This sudden sugar spike causes your blood vessels to become inflamed, especially in your legs. where circulation is already more vulnerable due to age. You may not feel the inflammation at first, but over time, the signs appear. Cold feet, numbness, or tingling, cramping in calves, weakness when climbing stairs. Mr. Raymond, 68, a retired carpenter, loved his mashed potatoes. They were my comfort, he said, but he also noticed he couldn't stand for long anymore. His podiatrist finally made the connection. Once he reduced his intake, his circulation improved, and so did his ability to walk longer distances without discomfort. And the danger doesn't stop with sugar. White potatoes have a high glycemic index, which stiffens arteries and worsens blood flow. Combined with the saturated fats people often add, butter, sour cream, cheese, this creates a perfect storm of inflammation and pressure on your heart, joints, and legs. The worst part, you may be undermining your medications without realizing it. High-sugar foods like potatoes can interfere with blood pressure pills and diabetes management, making recovery harder and slower. What to do instead? Replace white potatoes with sweet potatoes or carrots. They offer fiber, antioxidants, and support blood sugar control without the inflammatory backlash. Tudor eggplant, the healthy vegetable that stiffens your joints. Eggplant looks innocent enough. It's low in calories, high in fiber, and often grilled or baked in healthy recipes. But what most people don't know is that eggplant contains solanine, a natural compound that plants use to protect themselves. But in the human body, it can cause low-grade inflammation, especially in muscles and joints. For seniors, that can mean morning stiffness, knee or hip tightness, slow warm-ups, feeling like your legs don't want to move. Ms. Lillian, 72, an avid gardener, ate eggplant twice a week, in ratatouille or grilled with olive oil. But she also began waking up with tight ankles and a weird ache in her thighs. After cutting eggplant from her meals for a month, she noticed a clear difference in how her body felt getting out of bed. Solanine is tricky. It doesn't cause sharp pain. It lingers quietly, creating discomfort that's easy to dismiss as just aging. But if you feel your lower body dragging or unusually stiff, especially in the morning, it may be worth skipping the eggplant for a while to test the effect. What to do instead? Focus on vegetables that fight inflammation, like steamed spinach or lightly sautéed greens, to nourish your muscles and protect your joints. Green bell peppers, the colorful culprit in your salad. Green bell peppers seem harmless. They're crisp, hydrating, and often thrown into stir-fries, salads, or veggie trays. But hidden inside is a plant protein called lectin, which may disrupt digestion and irritate your immune system, especially as you age. Lectins can interfere with nutrient absorption, trigger gut inflammation, cause bloating or fatigue, weaken blood vessel walls. For seniors, this means your body gets less from the food you eat, and your circulation and nerves may suffer over time. Mr. Hiroshi, and 70, who moved from Japan to California in retirement, loved adding green peppers to every stir-fry. They gave crunch and color, he said, but after hearing about lectins, he cut them for a month. Surprisingly, his digestive bloating, which he had lived with for years, nearly vanished. And unlike their red, orange, or yellow cousins, green peppers are less mature, meaning they contain more lectins and fewer antioxidants. You get more irritation and fewer benefits. What to do instead? Try red bell peppers or zucchini. Both are gentler on your gut and contain more protective nutrients, especially for your vision and blood flow. Does overcooking your vegetables, when heat destroys the healing? You eat your vegetables, you steam them, you boil them. But did you know that how you cook them may erase their benefits? Broccoli, for example, contains sulforaphane, a powerful anti-inflammatory compound that supports brain clarity, artery, health, muscle coordination. But sulforaphane is heat-sensitive. When you boil broccoli, you destroy nearly all of it. Same goes for spinach, carrots, or cabbage. Overboiling or microwaving on high heat breaks down fragile nutrients. The result? You think you're feeding your body good fuel, but all you're getting is fiber and flavor, with none of the healing power. Mrs. Dolores, 67, who had arthritis and early-stage memory decline, switched from boiling to light steaming. After 6 weeks of simple changes, she noticed clearer thinking and less stiffness in her knees. What to do instead? Use light steaming for most veggies, just 3 to 5 minutes. Enough to soften without stripping, or stir-fry gently with olive oil. Small adjustments make a big difference in what your body absorbs. Simple choices that restore your strength. Carrots. The orange roots that keep you moving. Carrots often seem too ordinary to matter. They're cheap, crunchy, usually served on the side. But for seniors, carrots may be one of the most underrated protectors of independence. Packed with beta-carotene, carrots convert into vitamin A, essential for eye health, nervous system performance, and blood vessel strength, especially in your legs and feet. Mr. Ken, 75, a retired taxi driver, started adding carrots to his daily smoothies. At first it felt silly, he admitted. But after a few weeks, I realized my balance felt stronger, and I wasn't grabbing railings like before. Carrots also help improve brain-body communication. Their antioxidants support neurons and blood flow, which are key to avoiding falls and improving coordination. How to use them? Steam lightly for easier digestion. Shred into salads. Add to soups or blend into smoothies. Remember, regular use adds up. The effects are quiet, but powerful. Broccoli, the anti-inflammatory powerhouse. You've heard broccoli is healthy. But do you know why? It's one of the best vegetables for adults over 60 because it contains sulforaphane, a natural compound that reduces inflammation, supports circulation, helps clear out toxins, strengthens blood vessels. It also offers vitamin K, calcium, and antioxidants that protect your bones and arteries, both crucial for standing, walking, and staying pain-free. Mr. George, 69, with a history of high blood pressure, began eating steamed broccoli 3 times a week. After 2 months, my doctor was surprised, he said. My blood flow had improved, and so had my stamina on walks. How to prepare it right? Steam lightly, 3 to 5 minutes, to preserve nutrients. Avoid boiling or microwaving on high. Add a squeeze of lemon or olive oil for taste and absorption. Small, thoughtful cooking makes a big difference. Spinach, the green leaf that sharpens your mind and steadies your steps. Spinach isn't just for Popeye. This leafy green is loaded with nitrates, lutein, and folate, nutrients that support blood flow to the brain and legs, cognitive clarity, vision protection, muscle responsiveness. As circulation slows with age, spinach opens up blood vessels, allowing oxygen to reach every part of your body, especially your legs and brain. Ms. Ruth, 73, who had trouble remembering names, started sautéing spinach with garlic twice a week. She also added it raw to morning smoothies. I felt mentally lighter, less fog, she said, and my legs didn't feel as tired after long walks. How to use it? Sauté lightly with olive oil, add to scrambled eggs, blend fresh leaves into smoothies. Avoid overcooking. It kills nutrients. Spinach is gentle on digestion and powerful in impact. Bonus tip: combine them in one simple meal. For maximum benefit, try a Vitality Bowl once a day. Base: lightly steamed spinach and broccoli. Top: shredded carrots. Protein: a boiled egg or a handful of chickpeas. Dressing: olive oil and lemon juice. This 10-minute meal offers circulation support, brain and memory boost, balance and joint strength, comfort and easy digestion. Sometimes the smallest steps make the biggest difference. You don't have to overhaul everything. Just choose one of these vegetables each day and prepare them gently. Your body will respond, not overnight, but steadily, reliably, and gratefully. You've made it this far, and that says something important about you. It says you care. Not just about living longer, but about living better. With clarity, confidence, and control over your body. With the energy to move, the sharpness to think, and the courage to stay engaged in life. We often hear that decline is just part of aging, that losing balance, memory, or strength is something we should accept. But that's not the full truth. Your body is still listening. Every bite you take, every step you attempt, Every change you make, it all adds up. And it's never too late to turn things around. Today, you've learned that not all vegetables are your friend. That some, despite their reputation, quietly chip away at your circulation, coordination, and vitality. But you've also learned that smart, simple swaps can restore what you thought was gone for good. A cup of steamed broccoli, a bowl of sautéed spinach, a few crisp carrots in your lunch. Tiny choices with massive impact. Remember Alan? At 74, he thought he was slowing down forever. But once he stopped eating what was silently weakening him and started feeding his body what it actually needed, his strength returned. He didn't need more medicine. He needed the right food. So here's my invitation to you. Tonight, take 5 minutes. Look in your fridge. Look at what's going in your meals. And ask yourself, is this feeding my future? You don't have to be perfect. Just start small. Just start somewhere. And if this video spoke to you, if it opened your eyes, made you pause, or made you feel seen, I invite you to do 3 things. Leave a comment with the number 1 if you learned something helpful. Share this video with someone you care about, a sibling, a friend, a neighbor who might be eating the wrong foods without realizing it. Click subscribe to stay informed with practical, science-based health tips made just for people like you. Because here's the truth. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're just under-supported. And now, you're better equipped. The next chapter of your health doesn't start with a prescription. It starts with a fork. So let's feed the future you deserve. Stay strong. Stay grounded. You're wiser than you know, and stronger than you feel.